Hello, welcome back to our channel, Cool Random Things. So it's been almost 12 hours since they released the results for the Diversity Visa Lottery 2023, and we have a lot of winners all around the world, including the people who are already living in the USA. So in today's video, we are going to talk about how you can adjust your current status to the green card for the people who are already living in the USA. So stick with us to find out what are the steps that you need to do in order to get your green card successfully. And also, if you are living outside the United States, I will do another video. The process is a little bit different compared to the people who are living in the United States. So please go to that video to learn more about what you need to do. So for the people who are living in the United States, I will talk about all the steps that you need, and you can get this journey successfully. So without any further delay, we can get started. So let me share my screen with you so you can see all the things that I have. So first thing first, we have a Facebook page. Actually, it's a Facebook group that dedicated for DV 2023 winners. You can join this group and you can discuss your questions. We will try to answer, and also other members can help, and maybe you can discuss your issues in here. So this is again DV 2023 winners. I will put a link below if you want to join to our group, so you can easily join. And there are a lot of resources out there for the adjustment of status. So before that, I want to explain a little bit things about the diversity visa lottery. So the people who are already in the United States, you should have a valid status, valid non-immigrant status or immigrant status to begin with. Otherwise, it's impossible to get the green card even if you have get the selection letter from the diversity visa lottery. So basically, what does this mean? We can discuss a lot of things like in later, but for now, all you need to understand is you should have a valid status to get the green card. So that's why this process called the adjustment of status. So adjustment means they are going to adjust your current status to the green card or the permanent resident status. So that's why this process called the adjustment of status. In short term, they call it AOS. There are a lot of type of AOS. There are different kind of adjustment of status. But since this is a diversity visa lottery category, we call this DVAOS. So if in future, if you see a post about DVAOS, that means diversity visa lottery adjustment of status. So don't get confused about these terms, because there are a lot of terms that we will use during this process. So don't get confused. And as I said before, there are a lot of resources you can search online. You don't need to rely on all the details that I'm giving you. You can search your own things and get your own conclusion. And again, these are not legal advices, but these are from our experience and also from other previous users' experience. So you can follow those experience and eventually get the green card on your hand. So what I recommend is we have a web page, what we call, you can do a quick Google search. It's called DVAOS help. So DV means diversity visa, AOS means adjustment of status, help, and that's the website. So the first website that will appear is the website that I'm going to use, which is our website. So it's called www.dvadjustmentofstatus.com. I will put the link below also, so you can quickly go to the website and browse through. So I'm going to click the website, and this is how our website looks like. You can find a lot of information in this website. We have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram account, Twitter. You can tweet anything on the Twitter, so we will try to respond to your questions. And We have a YouTube channel. This is where we post our videos, and you can learn a lot of things through this website. But for the first time users, I recommend you to go to the DV AOS tab and click the AOS steps. So let's go there, and here you can see what are the steps that you need to do or follow in order to get your green card. But before that, let me open another tab on the FAQ because I want to show you how the selection letter looks like. I'm sure you already have seen this because you are already selected if you are watching this video. But so this is basically how the selection letter looks like. It may be a little bit different, I mean the numbers and letters, but this is the basic structure of the selection letter. It has a date and your full name and your address that you entered during the entry, and again your full name and the fiscal year. I will go through all this information later, but what's important in this letter is your case number. So basically the case number is we can go through the facts again. So the case number basically telling so each selected applicant get assigned with the case number, and we can see an example for the case number. So this is how the case number looks like. So it has the first four digit of the case number represent the fiscal year of the diversity visa lottery. So in this case it should be 2023 because this is DV 2023 lottery. And the next two letters, basically there are two letters. These letters represent the region. So when you enter your green card lottery information, you have there was a field that you need to fill your country of origin. So based on the country of origin, they will categorize to different regions. So if you go back here, there are 5 regions. AF means Africa, AS means Asia, EU means Europe, OC means Oceania, and SA means South America. So based on your country, you should be fall into one of these category. So that's the next two letters means. And then we have leading zeros. Most of the time there are 3 leading zeros, but for some regions there might be only 2 leading zeros, but most of the time it should be 3 leading zeros. And again, for some regions there might be more than 3 zeros. For an example, for SA region there might be like more than 4 zeros, 4 leading zeros. So the last numbers are the numbers that you should be really consider. That is your case number. The overall number is your case number, but the last digit, numerical digits determine where are you in terms of the selections that they have made. So let's go back to our fact page again. So you know what the how the case number looks like, but you still don't know why we have a case number. So basically they are issuing a case number because they cannot give the green card to all the people that they have selected. Basically what happened is they for each year they have 55,000 visas available, basically 55,000 green cards available. But what they do is they selected more than 55,000 people from the green card lottery, because some people won't get eligible during this process, so they will be get denied. So then they won't have enough people to fulfill the 55,000 visas. So what they do is they select more than 55,000 people to begin with, and then get the first 55,000 people the green card. So that's why the case number is important. If your case number is very low, we will talk about what are the low case numbers and what are the high case numbers. But if your case number is very low, then your interview process or the time to get the green card is very shorter compared to the people who are having very high case number. And again, so we will discuss all this information later in this video. I want to give you like brief introduction, like what are the terms that you will come across when you are preparing for the preparing your documents for the green card. So that's the case number. So that's why they will assign each applicant a case number, and for each month, so when the fiscal year start, each month they will release a visa bulletin on the Department of State's website. So the fiscal year is basically when is the diversity visa lottery 2023 starts. So since this is 2023, the fiscal year 2023 starts on October 1st, 2022. Remember, it's October 1st, 2022. So that's when the fiscal year starts. And the fiscal year ends September 30, 2023. So that's a hard deadline for the diversity visa lottery category. So you have to get your green card on hand before September 30, 2023. But let me make a little correction for that statement. You don't need to have the green card on hand before the September 30th. All you need to do is get approved your green card application before September 30th. You can have your green card later than September 30th. So with that correction, let's see what is visa bulletin. So visa bulletin, again, you can go to this fact tab and find all this information. So around 15th of each month, the US Department of States publish visa bulletin. So if you go to visa bulletin, we can click here. It will directly directed you to the visa bulletin page of the state.gov website. So in this visa bulletin, you can see the current visa bulletin. It's May. And the upcoming visa bulletin, it's coming soon. It's not yet. So basically around the 15th or 20th of each month, they will put a new visa bulletin here. So right now we have current visa bulletin. And if you want, you can go down and find the previous visa bulletin. So this will be helpful to determine how high or how low is your case number, because each of these visa bulletin has a case number, has case numbers in the previous years. So let's click the current visa bulletin and see how you can find the information. So visa bulletin is not only for the diversity visa lottery category. There are others categories to get the green card. So all those information are included in this visa bulletin. So you don't need to go through all these details. You only need to focus on the things that you only care about, which is the diversity visa category. So if you scroll down all the way down, you will find on the section B, actually the part B, diversity visa immigrant, DV category for month of May. And this visa bulletin, you can actually find, so this is the visa bulletin for May. But usually in visa bulletin, what they do is they put the visa bulletin for the next month as well. So if you keep scrolling down in section C, you will see the DV immigrant category, which applies to June. All right. So basically for the month May, you will find the visa bulletin for the month May as well as the month June. And usually this visa bulletin released around the April 15th. So what does that mean? You basically find out if your number is ready to be, ready to be scheduled for an interview like 2.5 months, almost 3 months before. So you can get your document ready and send your application and, start the whole process. So let me go back to the section B again. it's here. So for the month of May, they have listed all those regions that we talked about before: Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, and South America. And they will list the case numbers that are available or ready to be scheduled. Basically, these numbers are for, it's for all the TV lottery winners, but basically, these numbers really matters to the people who are outside the United States. So when their number is up, so let's say for the Africa, if a person who has, let's say 62,799, then that person can be scheduled for an interview for the month of May. All right. But for the people who are living in United States, you can start the process. You can start the process right after you learn, which means on April 15th, when they release this visa bulletin, you can start your application process. You don't need to wait for May. For the people who are living outside the United States, the embassy will schedule an interview. But for people who are in the United States, you need to do your own things. You need to push things. I will talk about those things later. You need to push things because it's really hard sometimes. But you need to track almost everything. So in here, what I want to say is, for the month of May, anyone who is under, for the Africa group, anyone who is under the case number 63,800 can apply. But there is an exception here. So this is like for people who are in Egypt, if they have case numbers above 1,300 and less than 63,800, they cannot apply. So the people who are from Egypt, their case number still has to be less than 13,000. I'm sorry. And it's the same for Asia. So anyone with less than 30,000 case number, they can apply. And we have two exceptions for the Iran and Nepal. So their case numbers has to be less than these limits. And a lot of people get confused because these numbers are like 30,000, 27,000. That doesn't mean that you have like, if let's say your case number is 30,001, that doesn't mean you have like 30,000 people in front of you. So the numbers, they are vary. So there is a way that they select this lottery. So I will explain that in a different video. But for now, all you need to understand is there are no 30,000 people in front of you if your number is 30,001. All right. The numbers skip. So maybe the Asia numbers start with 1, then the second number is like 100, and the third number will be 1,000, something like that. All right. So keep that in your mind. It's same for all the other regions. So once your number is current, so number get current means your number is under this specific threshold. So if your number is under this threshold, then your number get current. All right. So that's when you can start your application. All right. That's for people who are living in the United States. So once your number get current, which means your number is under the threshold, then you can start your application. And if you go to June, you can see for the Africa, Asia, Europe, and except for the North America, everything is current. So everything is current means any number can apply for the green card. And we still have some exception for the Egypt and Nepal. So these exception, because they have a lot of, the case numbers under 5,700 is coming from Nepal. So that's why they have put a limitation in here, because no country can have 7% of more than 7% of total available visas. So that's why they restricted the available visas for these countries, because they have a lot of applicants who got selected. So that's about the visa bulletin. So if you have a case number, you should have a case number, then you can go to visa bulletin website and check when the number get current in the previous years and compare or have some idea. But there's a little bit drawback of that, because each year the number of applicants who get selected is different. So for an example, last year I believe it's 120,000 people got selected, and the available visas was like 55,000. But in the year 2020, I think number of available visa was still 55,000, but the people who selected was like 85,000. So that's a really high chance, like all the numbers get selected. Even for this year, you see for the month June, all the numbers get current. So which means, except for those two countries, all the numbers get current. So which means basically you can apply for the green card. So that's about the visa bulletin and the case number. So basically, if you have a case number, you should have a case number. You can check what happened to those case numbers in the past. Okay, so this is about the case number. Then again, you have your full name here, and if you have if your full name is not correct in here, please do correction in your other document. But if you have like totally different names, then you might have some hard luck of getting your green card, because it's your responsibility to type your name correctly in the entry form. And also categories DV diversity and the country of chargeability. This is where your country should be. If you have two passports and your country is not correct, then again the chances are very low for getting the green card. So that's about the selection letter. So that's all you need to consider from the selection letter. And also in the middle, I'm sure they will ask you to submit the DS-260. I will talk about those things later for you and each family members. But don't rush. Don't start this process until you watch all the video. Maybe you can search online and go to other website and things like that. Don't start the DS-260 until you are fully aware about the whole situation. Okay, so let's go back here. I think I covered almost everything that you need to know about the case number and the selection letter. Now let's get started about the adjustment of status steps. So the first step, it's not listed in here, but the first step, it should be to check if you are eligible to adjust your status. So one way you can check this requirement is calling the USCIS. So USCIS means United States Custom and Immigration Services. Citizen and Immigration Services. I'm sorry, I got confused. So you can call the USCIS and find if you are eligible or not. But most of the workers who work for the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services are contract agents. So sometimes they are also confused about the DV category, because most of the people who get the green card from the DV category is from the outside United States. We don't have a lot of people who is adjusting their status on the DV category. So sometimes the new agents, they don't have a lot of knowledge about the diversity visa lottery program. So you might get some incorrect information from the USCIS. So be careful. But if you really want to check if you're eligible, you can go ahead and call them and verify, or you can go to the field office. There should be field office all around, like, in the United States. They have more than one, sometimes they have more than one field office in each state. So you can visit the field office, but due to COVID restriction, I don't think they will allow you to go without any, invitation letter or any appointment. But you can try. But the other way that you can find if you are eligible or not is just to like simply answering these 3 questions. So what are the 3 questions? The first question is, do you have a valid immigration status? So if you have a valid immigration status, it doesn't matter if it is a non-immigrant or immigrant status, but if it's still active, then you fulfill the first requirement. And also, it doesn't matter if your passport, the visa page on the passport is expired or not. So if your visa is expired, but your status is still active, then you are good. The visa is something that you need to show when you are traveling between countries, but the status is something different. So as long as you maintain your status, then you are good. You fulfill your first requirement. So the second question is, have you done something to invalidate your current status? Like, did you, most of the time for the non-immigrant visas, they have some restrictions. Have you break those rules, something like that? So if you haven't done anything, then you are good again. And the third question is, have you inspected when you arrive to the US? Have you get inspected by the official? So this means when you arrive to the airport, did you go through all the immigration officers, right? So technically it's asking are you legally arrived to USA? So if you have goes through the immigration officers and custom things, and then you are good. But if you arrived United States illegally, then you cannot do the adjustment of status. So if you fulfill all these questions, then you are eligible to do the adjustment of status. All right. So okay, so now let's talk about the other steps. So the second step is submitting your DS-260. So this is not a requirement for the people who are living in the United States. This is a requirement for the people who are living outside the United States. But it's recommended to fill the DS-260 because sometimes what happens is people who initially decided to do the adjustment of status while they are residing in the United States, but later they decide to do the consular process, which is the process that you have to go through if you are outside the United States, and that requires to fill the DS-260. So that's why it's important to have this filled. So the KCC, which means Kentucky Consular Center, have already processed this your information, so you don't need to wait. So this is highly recommended, but if it's up to you whether to fill the DS-260 or not. But it doesn't matter if you don't fill it. It doesn't mean that you are missing any steps. This is just a safety net. But if you are 100% sure that you will do the adjustment of status while you are in the United States and you never want to go back to do the consular process, then there's no point of doing DS-260. So if I click here, it should open another page, and again all this information are here. And one thing that you need to pay attention is, once you fill DS-260 application, you are showing an immigration intent. So if you are on non-immigration visa, then it might be a little bit harder to, renew your visa or extend your, the non-immigrant visa and things like that, especially for the people who are like come here as F1 student, which is a non-immigrant category. If you want to apply for the OPT or CPT, this might be a red flag if you have filled DS-260 and didn't get your green card at the end, because you need to complete all this process before the deadline, September 30th deadline next year. So that's why it's important to know that if you are going to do this, make sure your number get current for sure. Then you can start your application, and then you can start the filling the DS-260. There's no problem, and you can continue the process. So once you fill the DS-260, the KCC, Kentucky Counselor Center will send you an email. So this email serves as a second notification letter. Usually we call the selection letter as the first notification letter that KCC sent. And once you submit the DS-260, you will get the second notification letter. So this is how the second notification letter looks like. You will have your personal information top here. Then they will tell you, thank you for letting us know that you plan to adjust the status while you are in the United States. So now the Kentucky Counselor Center knows that you are trying to adjust your status while you are living in the United States. So this is your second notification letter. So there are two ways basically that you can get the second notification letter. Remember when I tell you, you don't need to, you are not required to fill the DS-260 form. So if you go through that path, like if you don't fill the DS-260, then someone can ask, where do I get the second notification letter? It's over here. So when you pay the DV fee, you will get the second notification letter instead of in here. I will talk about DV fee in more details later, but for now, when you pay the DV fee, which goes to the Department of States, and then they will inform the Kentucky Counselor Services Center, then you will get the second notification. So these arrows kind of like confusing, but this is like for people who fill the DS-260, then they will get the second notification letter. And also if for the people who don't fill the DS-260 and directly start from here, then they will get the second notification letter. So again, this is how the second notification letter looks like. And also again, the same thing applies here. If you start the process here, like without going through this route, and this again imply an immigration intent. So you have to be careful, and you need to be sure that your number get current, because otherwise you will have to, go through a lot of trouble. And also this DV fee is non-refundable, so you cannot get this fee back. This is like $330 per person. So if your family consists of 3 members, you need to pay $990 because it's $330 per person. So anyway, so once you get the second notification letter, you can start the DV fee. So what's the DV fee means? So DV fee means this is the fees that associated with the diversity visa lottery program. So basically this is like this is how they maintain this program, right? So you need to pay this $330 to the Department of States. So it doesn't matter whether if you are living in United States or outside the United States, you need to pay this fee. Even if you do the counselor process, you need to do the you need to pay the $330. So here it's explaining all the things that I said before, and each family member has to pay $330. If you have 3 members, you need to pay $990 total. And remember to use a cashier's check or money order, because they don't accept the personal checks. And you can check on their website, they don't accept the personal checks. So be sure to send the cashier's check or money order. And also they don't accept the credit card either. So the way you pay this, it's not online, unfortunately, but the way you pay it, like through the mail. So first get a cashier's check or money order with the correct amount. So if your family has 2 members, then get a check with $660. It has to be exact amount, no more, no less. And complete the field form. So the field form is you need to go to this website. This is a government website, the Department of State's website. And also you can see there are different categories that they need to pay fees. And if you go to diversity visa program, you will see this form. So this form is basically telling all the instructions, like DV program case number. This is where you put your case number and select surname, select given names and address and all the things. And this is where you include like how many number of how many peoples you are paying for and total amount enclosed. So you cannot download this page, unfortunately, or so for that what you can do is you can copy all these texts and paste into a Word document and pay and start paying the fee. But one more thing I forgot to mention, let me go back here. If you start the DS260 route, then when you receive the second notification, so when you submit the DS260, you will need to enter your email address. So that is where they send the second notification. So this will be an email. So with the email, I'm going to open another tab for this one. For the email, they will include you 2 attachments. The first attachment is your second notification letter that I showed you before. The second attachment is actually this form itself. So if you fill the DS260, then you will get this form in your email. So this is the form that you need to fill and send it with the cashier's check or money order. And also don't forget to include a self-address and stamped envelope. So this is basically for to get back the receipt back, like for for your records, because you need to have kind of like a receipt. So include a self-address and stamped envelope. And you can put all these 3 items in a bigger envelope and send it to this address: US Department of States, Diversity Visa Program, PO Box, and you know the rest. And if you don't, if you can find all this information here as well, it should be the same because we regularly update our website. So the address is correct, but if you always go back to the official website and make sure you send it to the correct address. So what happens is, usually once you send the cashier's check and the filled form and the self address and stamped envelope, it may take like 3 to 5 weeks to process the payment and send it back to you, the receipt. So let me probably we have, okay, so here are some images. So this is a money order that we got from the United States Postal Services. So this is for one person, $330. So this is a self-stamp envelope. You can put this money order inside this self-stamp money order. And then I'm sorry, I take it back. Don't put anything inside the self-stamp envelope. You can put both of them together with the form that you fill. So this is the form that you need to fill. it's the same form. Actually, this is the second attachment from the email that you received. So you can put all these things together in the bigger envelope and send it to the address. So this is kind of like example. So usually it takes 5 weeks to get back. So they will put a seal here. I don't know if you can see it. It says paid and with their initial and date. So you will get the exact form that you send. It doesn't matter if you use the attachment from the email or if you just copy and paste this text into a Word document. You will get this form back with this seal on it, paid seal on it. So usually it takes 5 weeks. If you haven't get it by 5 weeks, then you can email the KCC and ask for a digital copy of the receipt. And also you can call the USPS. If you get the money order from the USPS, you can call the USPS and check if the money order has been claimed or not. So that's where you will know if your money order or the application is processed. So that's pretty much about the fee. Let me close all these tabs because otherwise we will get confused. So let's go back to our main page. So once you get the receipt back, this is where it says the diversity visa receipt. So once you get the receipt back, you can start the medical. But some of the requirement in the past has changed because of the COVID situation for the medical exam, especially because in the past you need to have the signature from the doctor on the medical exam within 60 days before you send out your application. So what does this mean? Basically is you need to have a fresh medical when you send the AOS application. We can open this tab and see what are the requirements for the medical. Basically, you need to do a medical exam before you send the application. And this is what I'm talking about. Do not do this early because the doctor must be signed within 60 days of accepting your application by the Chicago lockbox. I will talk about what is Chicago lockbox means. But basically this telling is before they start processing your 60 days before they start processing your application, not processing, accepting your application. So if you do early, like if you do now, then it's too early. So first you need to figure out when you are planned to submit. To do that, you need to find out if your number get current or not. Then once you know when your number get current, you can start your medical exam accordingly. So for the medical exam, not all the doctors can certify you or do the medical exam. You need to find the civil surgeon that who is approved from the USCIS. To find out, you can click the link here and it will direct you to the USCIS website, and you can enter your zip code and search and find out who are the doctors who is around you and who can do the medical exam. And there are a lot of requirements for the medical exam. I will do a separate video for that one. You need to have some vaccination records and some tests, and there are a few things that you need to complete in the medical exam. But for now, I'll just keep it as simple. So you need to do this medical exam. Then you need to send your application. So this application consists of a lot of documents. I will go through one by one, but for now I will just walk you through all the steps here, because this is a very big topic. We can get distracted very easily. So you send the application with all the documents, which I'm going to discuss in a minute. And then once they accept the application, they will send you a NOA, which means notice of action. So once you get the NOA, you just wait until you receive a request letter for the biometric request. So the biometric request is you need to go to a USCIS application supporting center to give you your fingerprint, so the USCIS and can start the background on you. So once you receive the biometric information letter, then it will show you where to go and when to go. It will precisely tell you the location and the time. So you go there and give your fingerprint. Then they will start the background. Then once your background information is cleared, the field office will send you an interview letter. But sometimes they don't do the interview. Just if you provide all the information correctly, then they don't do the interviews. They just process all the the things that you submitted your application, and if they are satisfied, they will approve without interview. And if you get an interview letter, of course you need to go to the interview, and they will ask questions. I will discuss all these things later. They will ask questions, then they will decide what to do with your application. So now let's go to AOS package, adjustment of status package. It's a very long package. This is actually medical test. Let me close. Okay, so the AOS package. Okay, so we have like different categories. It's not like categories, but I separate into different possibilities. For those who are single, you can click here. If you are married, you can click here. If you are married and have kids, you can click here. And these are the final the package, and we can go through each item one by one. The most simplest case is if you are single, then the documents that you need to provide is not you don't need to provide too many documents. So first, the document is the cover letter. This is optional. You can include a cover letter. I will put a link to a cover letter, example cover letter, so you can see how the cover letter looks like. And then you need to include the payment method. It can be either personal check or money order or cashier's check. And the form G1450 means if you are using a credit card, then you need to include this form. But if you are using a money order, personal check or cashier's check, then you don't need to include this form. This is only for the credit card. And you can find the correct amount that you need to pay here. This will direct you to the USCIS website, and you can find the correct amount. And if you scroll down, you can find the fees. For now, for people who are between 14 and 78, it's $1,225. It's $1,225 and $1,140 for the application and $85 for the biometrics, but you need to pay both of them together. And also, if you are sending a money order, make sure that you will get 2 money orders, because currently the maximum amount you can get from a money order is $1,000, at least for the USPS money orders. So get 2 money orders. You can get one for this and one for this, or you can get $1,000 and $225. It doesn't matter. And if you are using money order or personal check or cashier's check, don't include the form G1450. It's only for the people who are using a credit card. All right. And then you need to include the form G1145. This is an e-notification form. Include this form to receive the text messages from USCIS, such as they received your they received your application, they process your application and things like that. So I think it's better if you can include this form. Then you need to include 2 identical color passport photos. Passport photos size, it should be 2x2, and also it should be on white background, and on the behind the photo, using a pencil, you can write your case number. All right, I'm sorry, not the case number, you can write your name, and make sure not to press too hard when you are writing, because on the other side it's your photo, so you don't need to embed your name on the other side. Then you need to include the medical exam form, which is form 1161 which is I-693 form. Basically this is a form that the civil surgeon or a doctor that give you. They should seal your form. You cannot open that envelope. You need to send that envelope as it is. Don't open it. They should give you a copy. I will do another video about medical examination, but for now just include this envelope in your application. And then this is the main form, the form I-485. This is the application actually. This is where they will you will need to include like your all the personal information, like the addresses you have been living for the past 5 years and the jobs that you have done, all those fun things. And also don't forget to sign, because this is where most people get their application rejected, because they don't sign the application. And if you want to know more about the form I-485 and how to fill form I-485 for the diversity visa lottery category, you can go to our YouTube channel, which is right here. I'm going to open it here, and there should be a video how to fill form I-485 for the DV lottery, because this form I-485 is for all the green card adjustment of status applications. So this video will talk about all the things that you need to fill for the diversity visa lottery category. And then you need to include your selection letter, the first notification letter. It's the letter that you get when you check your green card lottery status. And then you need to include your second notification letter. This is actually optional, you don't need to send it, but if you have it, you can send it. And then you can send a copy of DV receipt. Don't send the original receipt, only send the copy. And also you can see whenever it says copy, don't send the original, keep the original and send them a copy, because once you send it, it's a property of USCIS, you cannot get them back. So all you need to send is copies. But for the forms, you need to send the original form, and medical, you need to send the original medical, and photos original, and all the forms should be original, but the documents that you received or you have, they should be copies. So you need to include the DV receipt copy, and copy of your original birth certificate. And this birth certificate should be a long birth certificate, because there are some countries they have short birth certificate and the long birth certificate. For the short birth certificate, they only have like very limited amount of detail of you. That's not acceptable birth certificate. You need to have your long birth certificate, which includes your date of birth, place of birth, parents' names, and date of birth and official seal, and things like that. But if your birth certificate is not in English, you should include a translation. So along with this, make sure to send a translation. The translation can be done professionally, or someone who knows you. All right. Then you have to send a copy of your passport bio page. Bio page means the page that you have your photo and all the information. So send a copy of this. It doesn't have to be a colored photo, but it's highly recommend send a color photo. And also copy of your current visa page. If you have F1 visa, F2 visa, or H1B visa, send a copy of this page as well from your passport. And also you need to send a copies of your previous visa pages if available. If you don't have anything, don't worry about this. Just send the current visa page. And also copy of your most recent I-95. I highly recommend to send all the I-95s you have. If you don't have I-95 with you, you can go to official website right here. It says I-95 anything that's entry.gov is official website. So go here and you can get your I-98. Here you can see get most recent I-94. And let's go back to our list. Then you should send copies your visa entry stamps. So basically these stamps, when you first arrive the airport, they will put a stamp on your passport. So if you have traveled multiple times between countries, then you should have a lot of stamps, and each of these stamps will have the length of status or duration of status. So send all those pages as well, and it should be a copies. And then copies your authorized status. So this is the legal document that shows that you have a legal status to reside in the United States. Basically for F1 students or F2 students, this is your I-20s. For other immigration categories, they have their own document. So include a copy of that. Don't send the original, include a copy. And also you should include a copy of your last 3 years of W2s. So send a W2s so they can evaluate your condition. One of the things that they evaluate is they will check if you are likely to become a public charge. So they want to evaluate how is your income and things like that. So include W2s, but if you don't have anything, then you have nothing to send. If that's the case, then you need to include what is that called? You need to include affidavit form. You need to get affidavit signed from another sponsor. If you don't have any W2s or any other incomes. And also send a copy of your SSN. Don't send the original again, only a copy. And copies of your last 3-month pay stubs. But again, if you are not employed, so don't worry about it. And copies of your employed verification. This is kind of like optional. You can send it if you want, but it's kind of optional. And most recent tax transcript. This is not the tax document that you get at the end of that at the end when you fill the tax. This is the tax transcript. You have to go to the IRS website and request the tax transcript. I will do another video how to request the tax transcript later, but for now you need to go to the website and get the tax transcript. This is a totally different from what the document you have on hand once you fill the taxes. But again, if you don't fill the taxes because you are unemployed or any other reason, you don't need to worry about this. And send the copies, don't send the original. And also you need to include a copy of your high school diploma. This is very important. You need to include the high school diploma because this is one of the requirement of the diversity visa lottery. You need to pass the high school, so you need to include the high school diploma. It doesn't matter if you have a university degree or any other thing. You always need to have high school diploma. And also if the high school diploma is not in English, then you need to get translated. And also you can send your university degree transcript along with the high school diploma, but I don't see any point with this. But you can try, but make sure to include the high school diploma. And also, if you have any letters that received from the USCIS, like notice of action, form I-797, then send a copy of those as well. And also, if you have any court or police reports or records, include them. And you need to basically include all the things that you received from the police or court. You need to disclose all this information. And if you have like minor traffic citations which is less than $500, then you don't need to send those records, but I still recommend you to send those as well. And that's it for the single people. Those are the things that you need to send, but again, I will discuss a few more things in some other videos, like about how to fill form G1450 and things like that. But if you are married, then it's the same thing. You need to fill all these things to yourself. Only difference is you have to do the same thing again for your spouse. All right. So the spouse has to send the passport bio page, current visa page, most recent I-94, visa entry stamp, authorized status document, and W-2s if available, SSN if available, because sometimes the spouse doesn't have SSN, so it doesn't matter. And last 3-month pay stub and tax transcript and things like that. What this missing is, I think you need to fill you need to fill all these documents. So like form G1450, this is again for the credit card payments, and G1145, it doesn't matter if your application has these forms, your spouse application will be a separate application. So when you send these application, they should be in different envelopes. Well, technically you can put it in the same envelope, but they have to be on different stacks at least. So they need to have 2 identical photos, seal medical exam, separate application form I-485, and your DV selection letter and your second notification letter. This is optional again. And the copy of your DV fee, and the copy of spouse original birth certificate, and also translation if it's not in English. And this is important, copy of your marriage certificate. And this marriage certification should include your full names, date of marriage, place of marriage, and you need to include a translation if it's not in English. And I think I discussed all these things before. So that's what you need to include if you are married. And if you have kids, you need to include both of those things. And for each kid, you need to submit a separate application. You need to include all of these documents for each kid. And for the fees, the fees for the kids is only $750. So you don't need to pay like everything. And again, if you are married, you need to pay another $12.25. It's for adults, it's $12.25 per each member of the house. For the kids, it's $750. And you can always go to the official website and check the fees, because sometimes they update the fees. So yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what are the documents that you need to include in your application. And this is we will do another video. Actually, this part is not correctly updated. You don't need to fill this form anymore. We will do another video like how to prepare your package. And then once you have the package, you need to send it to a specific location. This is what we call Chicago lockbox, but the people who are in Arizona, they might have a different address. You can always check address. I will talk more about this in a different video. So this is the address that you should send. Basically, the Chicago lockbox is the place that they accept your application and check your application and process your fees, and send it to the other locations like National Beneficiary Center, and upload and scan your document and upload it to the USCIS server. And then the National Beneficiary Center will schedule your biometric appointment and send your application to the field office that is located in your current city or the current state. Then the field office will schedule your interview once the biometric is cleared. I mean, the background check is cleared. So this is what happened. So it usually takes 1 to 2 weeks to Lockbox to open your package and check each of the items. Again, I will do another video how to arrange your application, because for the people who are in the Chicago Lockbox, it's much easier if you arrange these documents in a specific way, so your application can get processed very quickly. So again, then after this point, you send your application, and we discuss all these things before. When you do the biometric, when you receive the biometric, actually it will show you a date and a time and the location that you need to go. But for the biometric, you can always try to do walk-ins, but due to the COVID situation, I'm not sure if they are still accepting walk-ins. But some application supporting centers, they are less busier, so you can try to walk in, because the sooner you do the biometric appointment, the sooner they can start your background clearance. So the sooner your background clearance get cleared, then sooner you will get received in your invitation from the field office. So this is very important, because for some people, the background check get really long. We need to get this done before the September 30th deadline. So this is where you need to put everything together, push things really hard. If you don't receive anything if you don't receive any news like after a couple of months from the biometric, then you need to contact your state or the state governors, or state senators. You can contact those people. I will do another video what you can do if the things get delayed, so you can watch that video. So once you done the biometric, they will do the background, and once the background is clear, they will send you an interview letter. And during the interview, this is a long thing. You can just go through with this. Most of the days they schedule an interview, or it's kind of like half an hour interview, maybe even less than that. Mine, it took like 15 minutes. It's so quick. So they will go through your application, maybe a couple of questions, and ask yes or no questions, and things like that, to verify a few things. And then during the interview, some interview officers, they will ask you to give them like a couple of days to process all this and review all the documents. And some people, they are already reviewed the documents before you arrive the field office, so they can approve you on the spot. But even if they approved on the spot, they need to contact the Kentucky Consular Center to get the visa number. So once they get the visa number, then you will approve officially. The way, because it's kind of confusing for them as well. Sometimes they don't know the process very well. I mean, they know the process very well, but sometimes new people get agents get confused. So sometimes they don't request the information from the KCC. So in that case, what you can do is you can call the KCC and ask if your field office has requested or not. If they have not, then you can try to contact the field office and let them know that you have to request the information from the KCC, but it's really unlikely you can get contact with the person who interviewed you. So it's really important during the interview at the end, ask the officer that what's the next step, and have you got the file from the KCC. So the file means it's not like a physical file, it's kind of like electronic file. It will tell you like all the details that KCC has on you, and they will issue a visa number for you as well. So go through with this, all these things, and you will be fine. And we have some tips in here, but we will do another video about like how to prepare for the interview, so you don't get nervous or panic during the interview. So I think that's pretty much cover all the things that you need to know about the diversity visa adjustment of status. If you have any questions, you can always comment below, or you can, once you join our group, you can submit your questions in our group and we will try to answer it. Again, just a reminder, this is the group. We have Diversity Visa Lottery 2023 winners. You can join this group. I will put a link below. Again, if you like this video, please like our videos and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our other videos. And so if you have any other questions, you can always contact us through this website as well. We have email here, and also we have a chat session here. You can contact us in any way. So I think that's it for today. And again, congratulations to you. You deserve this, and you can get this, and we can walk you through to the end. And again, some people who decided to hire lawyers, that's also okay, but you can also do it by yourself. A lot of people have done this by themselves. They never hired lawyers. I personally didn't hire a lawyer. I know a lot of people, they haven't hired a lawyer because this is a very straightforward process. Only thing is you need to have some patience, because some field office, they try to review all these diversity visa applications at the end of the fiscal year, very close to the end of the fiscal year. So they just keep that stack untouched until the last month. So you need to have some patience. And that's pretty much about it. And until next time, I'll see you.